Hi, I'm Suneera Madhani, and I'm a mom of two, a daughter of an immigrant, and an unlikely entrepreneur who went from scaling an idea to $1 billion business. Yes, $1 billion business. Along the way, I learned that less than 2% of female founders ever hit 1 million in revenue, and I became obsessed on a mission to change that. I believe that there is so much gatekeeping in business knowledge, and that we as female entrepreneurs should be learning from other female founders and leaders who have broken the statistics. Since I never went to CEO school, I've had to learn it all the hard way, but you shouldn't have to, because we believe that you deserve to have it all. And honestly, nothing bad happens when women make more money. Grab a seat because class is officially in session. Welcome to CEO School. So what do you want other people to say about you when you leave the room, right? Think about that. And I want you to get clear on your why, and I want you to lean into your authenticity. I want you to highlight the most important points for what we're calling our elevator pitch, right? We've all heard of elevator pitch before, but it's so important for you to actually nail it. We think we have our elevator pitch down, and I almost guarantee you that you don't. When I write our elevator pitch, or when you have your elevator pitch, a quick tip that I have is that is what your elevator pitch should read on your About Us on your website. And we would literally have here's our 10 words or less, 100 words or less, and here's the longer versions. You can even have 3 versions of your elevator pitch, right? If you have truly a 60 seconds, right? If you have a one-liner, what would you say? If you had 60 seconds, what would you say? And if you had a couple minutes of someone's time, what would you say? Right? And so that way you can craft that elevator pitch to be very precise depending on how much time you actually have. And as you're going to go through media, this workshop today is not about media training. If you guys want to learn media training, I can absolutely do another workshop on media training, and we can go get an amazing expert in. I know exactly who I'm thinking of to help you with media training. But this is so important because when you're actually doing PR, or you're on a podcast, or you're even on a stage, or you're just talking to the person, that's PR, right? Talking to somebody, talking to people in the room, that's even PR. You have to know when to use which elevator pitch. So I want you to test run those. And then I want you to test run those on your socials or on your stories and on articles or on your website. And I want you to see what people are resonating with. So this is a process, and it doesn't have to be this super long process. I just want you to pick a time frame. I want you to get with those cohorts or with the people and say, hey, I want to nail this. And then I want you to work with your team on those exact descriptions of your elevator pitch. I want you to practice them. And then I want to see the feedback back. Right? So give it a 2-week time frame, a 1-week time frame, whatever it is, but keep it in a container, and let's actually go pivot and go work on it. All right, so now that we've covered, high level on PR, why it's important telling your story, we're going to move forward on actually the PR basics. What are the fundamentals that we need to have? What are the most important resources that we have to have in place right away for our teams, for our website, for our bios, so that we can actually go land the media that we need? So let's get started, right? So some of the PR basics that we need is we need to have a compelling bio to use on our website, on our media kit, when you're a guest on a podcast, or when you're even pitching yourself to become a guest on a podcast. So we need to create a 1-page media kit so that you're ready to actually pitch yourself. Here, I'm actually going to share with you examples of my media kit, and you can absolutely take it and run with it and use it as a baseline, and you can change it how you need for your industry or for your exact pitch. But I wanted to show you and give you a real life template so that you can actually leave this workshop and go get to work. So first, I want you to have a clear biography, a about you, a 1-page section that says everything about who you are. And so here on the left, I have Suneera Madhani, and it is my bio, right? And this is my long bio. And even within my bio, when we go speak, we have a short bio that they can read on stage, and then they have a long form bio. When I'm attaching it to a media kit, I have my long form bio, but in many places I have my short bio, right? So your short bio can be at places like on my LinkedIn profile, right? That's where a short bio can be. When you're about to go onto a podcast, they're not going to read a 3-paragraph summary. And I hate when I get media kits like this that don't have the actual bio that I can just read off of about this person. So you want to have an overall about who you are and have a short form bio that's ready to go, ready to be introduced bio. So what is something that, the bio that other people should be saying about you as you're about to walk on the stage or before they're introducing you to a podcast? That is what I want your bio to be on your bio page. What's also important on my overall bio page is always having stats and facts, right? And so I think data is so powerful. And before you get to say, hey, Suneera, I don't have all of these stats, right? I don't have major publications that I've been in, or I don't have my own podcast yet, or I don't have stats to talk about. I will tell you, we all have statistics, whether it's statistics about your business, the number of customers that you have, the amount of, the impact that you've made through your communities. There are stats, and I promise you, I want you to find key data points. And so it's important for on your bio to have those key data points. When I was an early founder at Fat Merchant, at Stacks, our bio, I didn't have a ton of publications, but if I was featured in the business journal, I would write that. If I was featured even on other people's social media or mentions that you've been in, if we've mentioned you at CEO School, you can absolutely put that in, mentioned in CEO School. You can also talk about stats about your business. So things that I remember is we would put our processing volume for our customers, on our bio sheet. So it was like, we've processed, at the time, maybe it was like 5 million in payments for our customers, right? That statistic was a vanity metric, is what we call it. A vanity metric that gets people excited to say, wow, they processed 5 million in payments. That sounds exciting. And our company was so tiny at that time. I promise you, you can find statistics that could really amplify your story to say why you are credible. That is what I want you to get out of your media kit or your bio kit, is that it should be a place where people can go in and in one screenshot, in one snapshot, get a sense of who you are, what you stand for, what your mission is, what they can expect, right? If you're on their podcast or if they're doing an article, they're talking about you, what they can expect and why you are the expert, right? That is what you're showcasing, why you're the expert. And then you can create, if you are, further along in your entrepreneurial journey, you can have a multi-level kit, right? So you can have, we have a kit specifically on our podcast, specifically about our Instagram and social media. I've got one as overall of who Suneera Madhani is. And you can also put all of this onto a website. So you can create a simple landing page that has, everything that you need to know from a PR standpoint. And this is usually on every company's website. So you can do press, or you could say about us. That should be your media kit. And it should be downloadable. It should be accessible to the public. It shouldn't be gatekeep to say, everyone should have access to this media kit. And I think that that's a huge tool for you to get right away onto your website. What's also important is that your media kit should be reflective on your bios online across your social platforms. So your social platforms are now your website, right? So when you go onto your social media, when you go onto your Instagram, does it actually reflect what you want that story to be to your audience? So clean that up. I see so many times when entrepreneurs, they have like every single thing about their life on social media. And if that's your brand and that's what you want people to know about, that's awesome. But you have to also be really clear that your social media is also now your website. If you want to have a personal social media to keep that separate, that's totally great. And if you want to have a branded one to keep things succinct with your brand, that can also work. For me, I separated out CEO School as its brand, Stacks and Fat Merchant as its own brand, right? And Suneera Madhani as the overarching brand, where I was vulnerable, I was a founder, and you could land onto my page. And yes, I share things about my personal life, but you could really see who I am as a person and what I stand for. And my bio is what is depictive of what I stand for. And that's a really, really important part. And that's kind of your first page impression, right? A great thing that, we now have, which we didn't have early on, was our story highlights, right? It's our website. It's literally little tabs of our website is now on our social media. So you should make sure that your highlights are reflective. It's a great opportunity. So people don't need to get lost in your feed. They can land on your bio, get the credibility that they need of who you are, what you stand for, what your company is, and then they can go into your highlights to say, wow, here's more about my podcast. Here's more about our product. Here's more about blank. Here's more about blank. Here's more about who I am as a person, right? So using that opportunity on social media is huge. And I see this as such a missed opportunity for all entrepreneurs. So ensure that not only is your brand reflective on your website, across your social, but also formalize it in a proper media kit. I can't wait to see what you come up with. Thank you for tuning into today's show. If you loved it, leave us a review. We are so proud to bring you authentic conversations, game changer expert guests, and valuable content on and offline. The best compliment you can give us is by screenshotting today's show and tagging us on Instagram at CEO School and at Suneera Madhani. We are obsessed with swag, so don't be surprised if we want to send you some. Thanks for tuning into class today, and remember, nothing bad happens when women make more money.